The source is the reason for the profit every season. If you know, then you know. What's up, M.B.U family? I am so proud of each and every one of you this week. The last 2 days have been phenomenal. You guys are absolutely crushing it in the market. Great job, seriously. That discipline, that focus, that patience, it's paying off. And I don't just say that lightly. I see the growth. I see the progress. I see the receipts. M.B.U is becoming something powerful because you're proving it with your actions. Now, before we dive deep, let me give you a little preview of what's ahead in this message. We're going to break down 3 specific stocks today, 3 very different types of movers. One moves slow and steady, one moves at a moderate, balanced speed, and one moves so fast it'll make your head spin if you're not paying attention. I'm not giving away the names just yet because I want you to stay locked in and catch the entire breakdown from start to finish. But by the time we're done, you're going to see why I selected these 3, why they fit perfectly into the M.B.U blueprint, and why if you truly focus, you'll be amazed at what can happen. But first, let's make something crystal clear. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute financial advice. All investments involve risk. Do your own research. I am not a licensed financial advisor. The M.B.U Group is not responsible for your financial decisions. Always consult a licensed professional before making investment decisions. Now, with that said, let's get into it. See, family, when it comes to stocks, people get distracted by noise. They chase headlines, they chase hype, they stretch themselves thin across too many plays, and then they wonder why their money feels scattered and their account never grows. What we're about to cover are 3 stocks that I handpicked because they fit a very specific reason. They allow you to get in for a cheap price, they give you time on your side to weather the storm, and they allow you to position yourself with proper delta so that even as a beginner, you can move the right way. I'm going to say that again because it's critical. These stocks were chosen because they are affordable, because they give you time, and because they help you structure your trades properly. If you block out the noise and you give yourself just 30 days to focus on one stock, just one, you'll be amazed at what you learn. You'll start to recognize its rhythm, the ups, the downs, the fake outs, the breakouts, and that's when the profit becomes repeatable. Hash the first stock, the slow mover. The first one I want to highlight is ExxonMobil, ticker symbol XOM. Now listen, this one right here is what I call a slow mover. It's not going to give you wild swings in a single day. It's not going to double in an hour like some of these high volatility plays. But that's exactly why I like it for a certain type of strategy. Exxon tends to hover between very clear ranges. On the high side, you're looking at around $120 to $125. On the low side, it tends to bottom out somewhere between $90 and $107. That's a wide enough channel that you can make consistent money playing both directions. Calls when it's cheap, puts when it's high. Shares if you want to be more conservative. Options if you want more juice. Here's the beauty of Exxon. You can buy long-dated options on it at very reasonable prices. I'm talking about plays where you can put in $100 and have access to a contract that has months of time built into it. That means time is on your side. You're not forced to be right tomorrow. You're not stressed if it pulls back for a week. You have space to let the trade breathe, which is one of the most important lessons I want you to walk away with. Exxon gives you low theta decay because you've got the expiration far enough out, and the delta on these contracts is healthy enough that when the stock moves $1, you feel it in your option. It's not like some junk contracts where you need the stock to move $10 just to see any real change. With Exxon, the moves may be slow, but they are predictable. And when you understand predictable ranges, you can profit over and over again. Family, hear me on this. You don't need to chase 10 different tickers. You don't need to stretch your money thin. You need to focus. If all you did was study Exxon for the next 30 days, tracked the patterns, watched how it reacts at $120, watched how it behaves at $100, you'd come out on the other side sharper, smarter, and more consistent. And you'd realize how much money is hiding in plain sight when you give your attention to just one lane. The second stock, the moderate mover. Now let's shift gears. If Exxon is our slow, steady play, the next stock is the middle ground, the moderate mover. And that's none other than the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF. SPY is like the heartbeat of the market. When people say the market is up or the market is down, a lot of times they're talking about SPY. It mirrors the overall S&P 500 index, which is made up of the top 500 companies in America. So when you play SPY, you're essentially playing the broader economy in one ticker. Now, why do I call it moderate? Because it doesn't move as slow as Exxon, but it's also not as crazy fast as Tesla or some of these leveraged ETFs. SPY gives you a nice balance. It's volatile enough that you can trade options on it daily, weekly, or monthly and see real movement. But it's not so wild that it whipsaws you out of every play. Here's what I love about SPY. You can also get contracts on it for reasonable prices depending on the strike and expiration you choose. It's not always the cheapest, but it's accessible. And because SPY moves with the overall market, you can pair your trades with economic events, Fed decisions, jobs reports, or earnings season. That means you can actually use the news to your advantage instead of being blindsided by it. SPY contracts give you decent delta, and if you go out far enough, theta decay isn't crushing you overnight. This is another one where time can be on your side if you pick the right expiration. And just like Exxon, if you focused on SPY for 30 straight days, watched how it reacts to news, to Fed comments, to market sentiment, you'd come away with a deep understanding of how money flows in and out of the market as a whole. This is why I tell you, block out the noise. Yes, there are hundreds of tickers you could chase. Yes, there are hyped up plays that people will scream about on social media. But if you discipline yourself to study just one ticker like SPY, you'll realize you don't need all that noise. You need consistency. And SPY gives you that moderate pace that can build steady profit when you treat it with patience and focus. The third stock, the fast mover. And now, the one you've been waiting for. The fast mover, the one that can put you in profit quick, but also test your discipline if you're not careful. I'm talking about TSLL. Now, TSLL is a leveraged ETF that tracks Tesla. It moves at 1.5 times the speed of Tesla stock itself. That means when Tesla makes a move, TSLL amplifies it. You want to talk about fast? This is the one. Here's why I put it in this lineup. TSLL teaches you discipline. It will reward you when you're patient and punish you when you're reckless. The contracts on TSLL are cheap enough that even beginners can get in with a small amount of money, sometimes less than $100, and feel the movement. That makes it accessible. But don't confuse cheap with easy, because while the contracts are affordable, the swings are sharp. You have to respect this stock. When Tesla rips, TSLL explodes higher. When Tesla drops, TSLL sinks hard. This means the delta on these contracts is powerful. You'll see big percentage swings fast. That's why I say this is the fast mover. It gives you action, it gives you juice, but it also forces you to respect your strategy, because if you're not disciplined, it will take your money just as quick as it gave it to you. This is where I want you to remember what I said earlier. These stocks were chosen for 3 reasons. They're affordable, they give you time, they let you structure your trades with proper delta. If you focus on just one, Exxon, SPY, or TSLL, for 30 days, you'll learn more than chasing 30 different tickers in the same month. You'll start to feel the rhythm, and once you feel that rhythm, the profit becomes repeatable. Family, let me wrap this up by saying this. I know the market is full of noise. I know temptation is everywhere. But the M.B.U way is different. We don't chase, we focus. We don't gamble, we strategize. We don't stretch ourselves thin. We pick a lane and master it. Exxon teaches you patience. SPY teaches you balance. TSLL teaches you speed and discipline. Together, they represent the 3 speeds of the market: slow, moderate, and fast. And if you give yourself 30 days of pure focus on just one of them, I promise you'll be amazed at the growth you see in both your trading and your mindset. This is M.B.U reminding you, the source is the reason for the profit every season. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and keep building little by little, because little by little, wealth grows.